This is an orthokeratology patient. The patient previously had LASIK, and so the corneas are a little bit different. And it looks like there's been some myopic regression, and I'm trying to mold out the new or the resurfaced myopia. A little disclaimer first: I've never done Ortho-K on a LASIK patient, and I would strongly encourage you to have if you haven't already, had a discussion with the patient. Just I'm not sure what happens to the interface of that flap when we subject it to Ortho-K, and I'd make sure the patient fully understands what he or she is getting into, and that it's a slightly unusual case, and I'm just not very certain what the potential risks are for a post-LASIK patient and whether those risks are any different from someone who hasn't had LASIK. So given that, if the patient is interested in proceeding, it looks like we need a little bit more of a gradient under the lens. Right now, the tear film under the lens is a little bit thicker here, but overall it's kind of uniform across. And if we really want to mold epithelium, I think we need more of a gradient. We need less clearance centrally, probably maintaining the same clearance at the peak of the return zone. So in this case, because it's a pretty big change, I think, that we need to make to the lens, the easiest way is probably go into your tools, and if you go to configuration settings, hopefully you have something called Ortho-K. I have one called myopic corneal reshaping that I use for my own patients, but there should be something in there for Ortho-K. And before I do that, I'm going to look at where you place your control points. You're at 6.0 and 6.8. So let's go ahead and go back into here. So I'm going to choose what's called standard Ortho-K in my list, and I'm going to change these values to match what you currently have. So that's 6.0 and 6.8. The diameters already are at 10.7. For lower myopic correction, a target lens power of plus 125 is probably enough to start with. It's possible we may have to increase that because the patient's had LASIK, but I'm not really sure. And then your lens thicknesses are 22 and 30. So I'll change those. So everything here should match pretty much what you have, except our apical clearance is going to be quite low, around 2 microns or so. It's going to be axial mode like you're in right now. GSIM I think will work fine, and then we'll hit continue and let the computer do its work. Alright, so now we have a new lens, and you can see that the central clearance has really dropped down, and we have much better wedge here of fluid or tears underneath the lens, which will hopefully draw the epithelium away from the center towards the mid-periphery, and then result in the relative flattening of the central cornea to take care of the myopia. Whether or not this works as a first lens, I'm not entirely sure. Again, the dynamics with the post-LASIK patient are probably a little bit different, but I think this should get you a little bit more molding than you were initially getting. And then I would do the same thing for the left eye. You want to just go to the tools, configuration settings, select the Ortho-K setting, and then just adjust the optic zone and the IC width, lens power, thicknesses, and diameter to match what you want. Hit continue, and it should give you a lens where you have more of a gradient underneath in the tear film to hopefully get rid of that myopia. So go ahead and give that a try. I hope this works out well for your patient. Best of luck, and thanks for watching.